But last night at the Grammys, they did do a little bit of a celebration there during War Pigs. They were playing War Pigs, they being Duff and Post Malone, along with a few other folks. And they obviously 99.9% of it was in honor of Ozzy Osbourne, but they also put up pretty much every musician who passed that year. And I know in their reunion tour, which is loose because they never really broke up, but when they got the original members back together, the Verve Pipe toured with them, which was 1996. So what was it like being with Kiss? And are there any like Ace stories? Like, what was he like then?
Yeah, so Gene and Paul would come backstage, come into our dressing room and talk to us and whatnot. Ace kind of stuck to his own thing. We weren't allowed to have any alcohol or anything on that tour, and that, for us back in the day, it was a lot of Jack Daniels, and for whatever reason, I've got more refined taste now. But that, so, I think that just to avoid any kind of drugs or alcohol, he just didn't go around anybody. But I did see him a few times in the corridors at the arenas. And I remember one time he always had a juice box in his hand, which is just, just the funniest little thing. He was like slipping on a juice box like a little kid. And they would kind of guide him where he was going. And then one time he went the wrong way, went by our dressing room door, which was open. And then somebody came running after, Ace, this way, and kind of guided him back. And this was, this is 96. So that's 30 years ago. Yeah. So he lived another, 29 years after that, when it didn't seem like he had it all upstairs at that point. So, I mean, who knows? But I had nothing but, my one, maybe two interactions I had with him or Peter Criss. They were great. It just wasn't the same as with Gene, who was very commanding, and he'd come back and give us advice and that kind of thing. So
that was nice of him.
Yeah, for sure. He did that quite a bit. So
yeah. And now their sons are playing. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Very cool.
They're doing more like a Simon and Garfunkel type stuff.
Yeah, I dig that. I dig it.
I love it. Yeah, it's great.
Gene Simmons was a big Beatles fan. They were all Beatles fans. I mean, they weren't just, they found their niche and they worked it. And when they first started, Gene told me they used to, they would play one show a month or something and make it a big deal, and then they would say, we just got back from Europe, and now we're, and they never went to Europe. You just say it. So it's like, and that worked for them. They just built up their own hype.
Yeah. I think being rebels helped a lot too, because like I love the music, but I'm a nonconformist by nature, and even when they got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, people were posting online, I turned it off when they were announced. And I'm like, you're an idiot. I would think to myself.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, they're an iconic band. I mean, listen, the fact that, musically, it was some of the most interesting, non-interesting stuff, but because it's all like 3 chords, 4 chords. But when I was a kid and learning how to play guitar, that was the best. I could play all those songs with them, so that was exciting. Yeah. So there's value in that too.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Paul flat out said their whole, at least when he was writing, his whole deal was don't bore us, get to the chorus. So it was like really, 3 minutes, 30 seconds, So yeah, great stuff, man. I mean, they have a place in history that can never be matched. That's for sure.